Welcome to the City of New Bedford's Arts and Culture Show. It is March AHA Night downtown, and the theme is Hear Me Roar. We chose the Hear Me Roar for a couple of reasons. It's a play on Helen Reddy's I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, and March is Women's History Month, so we'll be looking at a lot of themes in women's history and talking to some women entrepreneurs. Hear Me Roar is also part of March Comes In Like a Lion and Goes Out Like a Lamb. And it is windy and blustery downtown tonight, as you will see. So we'll be looking at some themes of wind and a little bit with animals who roar. We're in the Muse Gallery, and Nusheen Navida is one of the newest female entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general in downtown New Bedford. She's opened a wonderful gallery, and the mayor is about to cut the ribbon and start the night.
Well, thanks everyone for coming tonight. This is a very happy occasion, when, and it is a happy occasion every time we get to open up a new store. I've been eyeballing Muse Studios for some time now, looking at another stop in downtown New Bedford for Christmas gifts, and this place is terrific, Nusheen. You know, we're pleased as a city that you've taken you've made an investment here. You've taken a risk, and it's going to pay off big time for you. What we're opening here is a real concept store. You live here, right, or will be living here.
Yes.
And you'll be selling your goods and also the creations of other artists. And there's a wide variety of things that you can tell us about in a moment. But as mayor, I just wanted to congratulate you on the opening of your store. It's a terrific place. It's in a terrific spot. It's in a spot in downtown New Bedford that is growing, has been growing, and will continue to grow in the years ahead. And I just wanted to thank a few people who are here. I wanted to thank the Economic Development Council. Some of its members are here. Angela Johnston's here, Deb Trombley's here, Derek Santos is here somewhere for their efforts in making it happen. And I have a proclamation here for you, and I can tell you that I will be one of your first shoppers tonight. I think I'll make myself a hero by buying my wife at least some postcards while I'm here. But let me exactly, yeah, it's Mother's Day. I'll put it away for a month and a half. Yeah, but let me just read you the proclamation, Nusheen, and again congratulate you. It says here, the City of New Bedford, Massachusetts, hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Muse Studio, to Nusheen Nabidi, in celebration of the grand opening of your gift gallery and design studio at 516 Pleasant Street in downtown New Bedford, and with appreciation of your investment in the City of New Bedford, signed this 8th day of March 2012 by me, Mayor of New Bedford. And just one other point I wanted to make, and that is, and I've talked about this as mayor and also as a candidate for mayor, one of our strongest assets as a city is our uniqueness, our identity. You know, as the rest of America becomes more and more the same, more homogenized with strip malls and exit ramp townhouses, we've got something special here. This isn't a chain store. This is unique here in New Bedford. And the next store over is unique here in New Bedford. And the one next to that is unique. And so that's what makes us a lot more appealing. Every stop along the way in downtown New Bedford is a feast for the eyes, and Muse Studios is no exception to that, and it really adds value here, and I look forward to shopping here in the years ahead.
It's a pleasure to be here with myself and Councilor Gonzalez from Ward 5 on behalf of the entire New Bedford City Council to be here with you today on this great store. We had an opportunity before we came on to look around, and you are selling some great products that I know that Mayor Mitchell has now committed to buy something for Mother's Day, and now that we're all keeping that in mind, we should all take an opportunity to buy something today. But just walking around, you have something for everyone that fits everyone's criteria, from jewelry to greeting cards to books, and this is going to be a great spot down here, as Mayor Mitchell has said. It's across from the probate court, and it also complements the other local businesses around the area, small businesses who work hard each and every single day.
We have a citation for you from the Bedford City Council to congratulate you on the ribbon-cutting grand opening of Muse Studios, and it's presented today to Nusheen Navidi from Council President Steve Martins and myself, Jane Gonzalez. I'm actually the council from Ward 5, which is actually the district to the west of County Street, but I always kind of adopted downtown as my own, and Councilor Duat couldn't be with us today, so I'm standing in for him. So welcome. Thank you.
I'm just honored and sort of speechless. I'm so honored, so thankful for everybody's support, and this just makes me verklempt. But I just wanted to welcome everybody. The store is going to constantly be getting new things. I have my own designs in here, part of the Muse Cards and Gifts collection, Musings, Instant Infusion, Tiny Muse. There will be baby onesies with New Bedford designs. There will be postcards and greeting cards with New Bedford whimsical creative designs, as well as other artist works. I want to encourage people to send artists over. What I'm having right now is I'm using the space as a showcase for artists in town who don't have a home for their art and want to be able to showcase it, get exposure. So that's sort of my way of giving back to the community, not as a gallery where I take a cut, but to really just support the artists and let them get exposure. So I'll be working with UMass students. In fact, I have two of the artists work here. There's Eric Grab and there's Edmund Miracle II, whose work is here, as well as a few other artists. So it'll be constantly changing, and every month it'll be changing out, and some artist work will continue to stay here and some will rotate out. So please pass the word along, and basically please send people over 12 to 5 every day, and hopefully over time the hours will extend. But we're open late on AHA nights. Thank you so much.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
We're here at New Bedford Whaling National Historical Park, and we are about to talk to the people we call the 1850s ladies, affectionately the 1850s ladies, the role players who really bring us stories of 19th century New Bedford. They've done immaculate research and really have thought about what life was like in that time period in New Bedford, and they bring the streets alive and they bring the characters alive. And so we always love to come and hear their stories. Tonight they're talking about menageries and circuses and things that came to New Bedford on the theme of Hear Me Roar. So let's go listen to the stories they have to tell us.
Do you remember the first time that we saw an elephant, or I saw an elephant? You weren't even
I wasn't
here
here
yet.
yet. No, I wasn't. It was just before I arrived in New Bedford, but yes, you told me the story. You may want to tell them the story.
That was an interesting thing. Actually, I knew the Ricketsons, and the young Ricketson boy had gone over to Nantucket to visit with his aunt and his cousins. And he said that he had seen an elephant playing in the surf. My gosh, that must be 1820 or so.
You must have thought he'd
lost his wits. But anyway, he said he had been playing with an elephant in the surf. And when they came home, they all came home on the same boat from Nantucket, the Delight.
Along with the elephant?
Along with the elephant. Well, I thought he was crazy when I heard that story, because he was talking to Will about it. And then I went down the street, and don't you know, there was an elephant.
Oh, my.
I had only ever seen an elephant in a picture book.
And he came on a ship.
He was on a ship. But you
that
remember,
something?
in the meantime, we've had Jumbo and Mrs.
Yes,
Jumbo,
we
and
have.
remember old Bet that
Old
came?
Bet
Poor
came.
old Bet. She
That was
died
sad.
and they stuffed her, you know, but she didn't last very long, I
No,
guess.
I don't think so.
No.
Poor old Bet.
But
you had camels over there, remember?
Oh, you
I
remember
heard
when
about
the
that.
the camels, that was a terrible
the
thing
livery
too.
stable. You could go see the camels for
At
12 and a
Ivory
half cents.
Bartlett's, you know, Ivory Bartlett, you know him, you've heard of him. Well, certainly, they had camels over there, and I thought that was very interesting. And then we had gone, I think we paid, it was 12 cents, I think, for an adult to go. I don't remember what it was for the children.
I
It
think
couldn't
it
have
was
been much. But in any case, we went, and the children thought that was just wonderful, and they were ready to go on some caravan across the desert. You know how it is. And we had just about gotten home, and don't you know, they had that terrible fire.
I heard
And
about
little
that.
Will,
How
of course,
awful.
my son, decided that he had to go find out where the fire was. And then when he saw all the people running down to Ivory Bartlett's area, because it was down in here, in this general vicinity, all he could think of was that the camels were going to get roasted.
Oh,
They were
roasted
fine.
camels.
They were,
They
but
were fine.
he had all these terrible stories about roasted camels and was dreaming of them for nights. You know, but it really was very interesting to have that here in town.
True. Along with all the menageries and circuses that came.
Well,
But we
that
should-
one that used to come from New York was wonderful.
Oh, wasn't that wonderful? That had all kinds of things, had kangaroos. But remember, they said they were going to have a unicorn, and I was so disappointed. It turned out to be a rhinoceros.
A one-horned rhinoceros.
Now,
And it was not a unicorn, and it was quite unattractive.
no, it was large.
It was almost like looking at that big blob thing, that
hippopotamus.
That hippopotamus thing.
Well, remember, we
All it
stood
did
there
was
for
sleep.
hours waiting for that, and
It
didn't
never
move.
moved. It just sat there, or lay there, I
Or
should
whatever
say.
it did, I don't know.
Didn't do much.
I don't know.
It was like a big
when
rock.
you talk about the menageries, are these things that are coming to town?
Yes.
They do. They come to town.
Is it
Well,
like a
at first,
circus?
there were circuses as well. But initially, New Bedford wouldn't allow them. They
Oh,
wouldn't give
I
them
know.
permits.
You remember
you
when
had to go to Dartmouth?
We'd go to
see them.
Dartmouth, right over the line, because they wouldn't give them permits here. That wasn't until the, what,
1835. In 35, they allowed them to come. And then they went on...
Oh, remember the amphitheater?
Between on corner of Elm and County, right?
Yes.
There's that funny place there. It still
They
has
have clowns there once in a while, the red and yellow
The
clown.
red and yellow clown up there, yes. It still
Well,
has a clown there. But
up in there, there
they
was
would
a
have
place
the
called the
menagerie.
amphitheater. And they would have, remember when they had the bareback riders?
Oh, they
have
did.
a lot of those.
Oh, speaking of bareback riders, should we tell them the story about the pink lemonade? You see, lemonade used to be at the circuses. They used to always serve the yellow lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one day out in the West, they ran out of water to make the lemonade. It was quite a problem. But the lemonade vendor saw one of the bareback riders, horse riders, had red tights. And she was rinsing the tights out. And so
The
he
water
went
was
over
still
and
good.
he grabbed the water and used that for his lemonade. And that was the first time we had pink lemonade.
Terrible.
Doesn't
yes.
sound good.
No, it doesn't sound
But do you know Mr. Tobin, Will Tobin?
I don't.
He had run away with the circus, and
He
he's
had.
the one that told that
He's
story
the
when
one
he
that told
came
that
back.
story.
And I've never known him to really lie.
No, so I
Might
think
exaggerate
it might be.
a bit,
But
but-
ladies, Godey's Lady Book said that you could make lemonade, pink lemonade, by putting the little cinnamon candy
That's
in
what
your
we
lemonade.
did.
I think that sounds so
That's
much
much
better.
better.
Because
I
we
think
weren't
that's a
about
much
to be
better
doing
way.
our laundry, and besides, I don't have anything red except Isaac's long
Oh,
woolen
well,
underwear, and that would be disgusting.
would
I
be
wouldn't
very
put that in
terrible.
anything.
That would be very
So
terrible.
did circuses just come in the summer?
No. The first one that came here to New Bedford was in December.
In December.
It was right around Christmas, the 23rd, 24th, in
Something
there,
like
just
that.
before
Yeah,
Christmas.
just before Christmas.
Yes,
Yes.
and we had, remember when we had the one in October? That was when, sometimes we also had, they're like circuses, but they had strange people.
Oh, yes.
Remember when the Siamese twins
Oh, the Siamese
came?
twins, and they had to stay. Remember, they couldn't.
They were over
could-
at Mansion House. They stayed there for a whole week because they
Yeah.
were supposed to go from here to Nantucket.
And the boats
And the
weren't
boat
going.
wasn't
The boat
running. It
wasn't
was in
running.
October and we were having a gale. So they ended up staying here for a whole week.
Of course, they'd sent all those people with the pictures on, but we had those all
Oh,
the
we
time.
had people
we
with
were.
pictures. That's not
We
so
didn't seem to
bad.
think that was,
That's
yes,
very
we didn't seem to think that was very special.
That would be very special.
I
Yes,
would
for some
suppose.
people, yes,
Well,
because remember the first time
First
you
time
saw
I
it.
ever saw it, I was frightened to death. And then you remember they had that little person, the little Tom Thumb
Oh,
man.
the little
He's,
guy.
he's what? He's from Middleborough.
Yes.
Isaac's from Middleborough originally,
Yes.
you know, his family. And, well, Isaac's not all that tall, are you?
No.
Maybe
Maybe
it's
all
something
of
in
it
the
in
water.
Middleborough,
I
maybe
don't
so.
know.
I
But
don't
he
know.
did find a woman who was his size and marry her, you know.
Oh,
Imagine if they had children. They'd
I
be
wonder if
really
they'd be
tiny.
little tiny. Oh, my goodness, that'd be crazy.
I can't even imagine.
We're here at Gallery 65 with Kim Berry, who has done a wonderful presentation tonight about your orchid pots.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we're here, I mean, it's Women's History Month, so we're sort of talking to women artists and kind of honoring women entrepreneurs, and you've kind of put the whole thing together
Oh, that
in a
sounds-
wonderful way.
That sounds wonderful.
Tell us the stories about these.
Well, this was a great opportunity. I have some friends that are orchid specialists on the vineyard, Mariko Kawaguchi and Wendy Oliver. And Wendy's an orchid grower, and Mariko is an artist when it comes to orchids. And so they were asked to put together arrangements for President Obama and his family when they stayed at Blue Heron Farm last summer. And they called me and asked if I'd make some special pots for this presentation. And I was very excited about it. And so sort of the overriding theme was the flora and fauna of the island. And so I had some pots with ferns and frogs and shells and encrusted with shells. But I wanted to do something special for the children. And it's a family vacation. And so I put together a pot with their family dog Bo on the front. So I sculpted a little kind of stamped silhouette, which I embossed onto the pot, and then I trailed some little paw prints all around the edge, and then on the bottom I inscribed it to them and their dog Bo. So I thought.
I bet they were
would be-
charmed.
Well, I'm sure that they were. I mean, I didn't hear anything, but it's their special time, and they were there in this beautiful environment, and my pots got to be with them, and that was a real thrill. It was really great.
And so do you have pots similar to these pots, or pots like them are for sale in the gallery, so people can come down,
Yes,
right?
yes. These are just on display, and these are all orchids that my mom and I have grown. But
If we're good, can we buy this one with all the...
but I have a lot of other pots, some with orchids, some with shells, and then I also have specialized pots that are made for certain kinds of orchids, and then pots for whatever you want.
We're here with Rebecca McCullough from the Women's Center, and what a stunning event. In back of us, we have this whole celebration of Women's History Day.
Yes, it's really a great event, and we have over 200 people here, so it's really exciting to see so many women together, and men as well,
Right.
to honor women and the history of women in International Women's Day.
Senator Montigny said that he couldn't get in, it was standing room only, so, I mean, what fun, actually.
Yeah, and
that
it's
you were so
great.
full.
You know, we did an event last year, and we had about 100 people, so I think this is a good sort of start maybe for a new tradition of reactivating International Women's Day, because in 35 countries around the world, it's actually a national holiday. So we're behind the times here in America, but we have a lot of women that love to get together and really are interested in helping women around the world.
And the misrepresentation is such a nice way to start because it kind of identifies issues, and then you kind of have a way to the discussion, and then...
Right, and I think it's really eye-opening for a lot of us. You know, we think we know about the media and we know about women and how we are not treated always the best, but to see it in living color on the screen was quite amazing, and it's really a good way to start a conversation.
Right.
To really, in the city, you know, we're really interested. That was a great collaboration tonight between not just the Women's Center, but AHA Night, UMass Dartmouth,
The Women's
Fund, the YWCA.
Right.
And it's, you know, it's great to see all the women's groups working together
Absolutely.
to help make the world better and for women and girls in our community.
Right, and we like the audience of younger women also. I mean,
yes,
that's really,
and
nice
we were
people
happy to
come
see all the young girls that came today.
Yeah.
Because that's where our youth is where our future lies.
Right.
And if we're going to make a cultural change and a social change, we have to get to the youth. So it's great to see so many people here tonight.
Well, thank you for your work, and thank you for speaking with us.
Okay, thank you so much.
We're here in the Colo Colo Gallery on Center Street, and we have Lasse Antonsen with us, who is doing a one-man show on sculptures from North Carolina. Now, the last time we spoke to you, you were doing an external installation on the Whaling Museum with these wonderful natural shapes.
Yeah.
And so...
Not far from here.
Not far from here.
Yeah.
So what have you brought us this time?
Well, it's a series of sculptures, of wood sculptures, that I actually started when I was in North Carolina. That's why I call it Sculptures from North Carolina. I was there for 2.5 weeks, and I was able to work with all these natural wood pieces that I picked up in the forest, and I made into figures, different kinds of figures. And that's mostly what we have in the exhibition, but I also have this series of works which I call From a New Bedford Garden, which I just finished. I finished them within probably the last month. And they're all these small figures that in different ways are made out of seed pods or leaves and found pieces of wood. So it's like these little characters that roam around in New Bedford Gardens.
Well, they're charming. They're truly charming. And you've done a lot of thinking about kind of the natural world and the categorization of the natural world and how we see it.
Yeah.
And so is this part, I mean, you did that Cabinet of Curiosities series.
Yeah.
Is this part of this?
In some ways it is, in some ways it's not. Because what I have done mostly, and I have shown most of, is the work that are actual objects from nature. And in different ways I display them, so it's more conceptual and it's about the story around these genuine objects. So here it's another side of the kind of artwork I do, which is creating objects. So in a way in this instance here, I'm really creating the objects. Although I'm not carving them or welding them or something, but I'm putting them together.
The choice, purposeful choices.
So in some ways there's a relationship, but this is a different kind.
Okay, we just want to be able to follow you clearly as you move these
I
things.
move into different areas. Because I usually work with found objects, that's right. Right. And in some ways you could say that these are found objects too, because these are branches that were found, like the sculptures I did in North Carolina. And what I did was I found these very expressive branches and trunks and so on, and then by cutting them in half and juxtaposing them and putting them together, in a way you could say you get these kind of characters that expresses themselves through these forms.
It's kind of Druidian in some ways. The character comes out of the wood.
Yeah, in some ways I think that is true.
Well, thank you for speaking with us.
Oh, well, my pleasure.
And we'll keep going around to AHA now.
Good, thank you.
We're here on North Water Street, and we have the Low Tide Yacht Club from the harbor.
Yes, from Fort Tabor.
From Fort Tabor. And Nancy Jordan and Ed Lobo.
Yes.
And this is the part of the night when March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. It is blustery out here. And you're talking about all summer sailing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. As a matter of fact, for about 20 years, we start our race season in June and we go all the way to September, and we don't really like wind like this.
No, this is not racing weather. And so do you do classes for people also?
Yes. We're in collaboration with Community Voting Center.
Okay.
And we are having classes. They teach classes, and when people graduate,
Right.
they can sail with us and race with us.
That's terrific.
And we also have race management classes. But we're all together in this, trying to promote voting in New Bedford. Such a wonderful harbor, great place to sail, row, cruise
Right.
on boats. So that's what we're
And
we're
so
doing.
I know that you're going to be back down for April with a bunch of other folks who do
Yes.
rowing and different things in the harbor, so people
Right.
can visit you at April
Yes,
Aha
yes.
Night.
In April,
But-
same place, right
but,
here.
And so this is Casa de Boats
Yes.
from the Azorean Maritime Heritage
Yes.
Society. And so in between, do you have a website that people can find out more information?
Yes, it's lowtide,
Right.
YC.
Okay.
.org.
.org. Okay.
That's
So-
easy enough.
It is easy enough.
Yes.
So we'll probably see you again in April. We'll come back down and visit and see how you're doing.
Yes.
But thanks for coming out. You made the wind part of the March theme come true.
Well, I'd like
Thank
to say
you.
one more thing.
Okay, good.
We've had a long, long history, and right now we're in the most beautiful facility down at Fort Tabor. Although we don't have our own place to moor boats, everybody doesn't seem to have a problem with that. And we have actually taught classes over the years. We've been very successful as a club. But right now we're looking for more members, so please come and join us.
Oh, and nicer people you couldn't hope for.
Exactly.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you for joining us tonight downtown for March AHA. Hear Me Roar has been a great success. It certainly is a blustery March night, and we've enjoyed hosting you. Come back for April, and if you can, join us downtown. Second Thursday, the theme is the Sustainable South Coast. It's the Earth Eve Parade, so it's the largest people-powered parade. We have lots of floats, marching bands, a Shrink Your Footprint fair, and great opportunities to learn about the South Coast and the ways that you can save and marshal your energy and be supportive of the environment. So please join us then.